Hey guys, what's up? AWA man, Aaron Warder man, or laying a SmackDown channel. This is Wrestling Discussions episode 2, since there's no prediction show. And last week's episode was not a wrestling discussion. This is a wrestling discussion episode. Okay. And on this episode, we're going to talk about best heel turns and best face turns in wrestling history, not just WWE, but wrestling. But before we get to that discussion, make sure to like this, okay? Like that smash button down below. Please. If you're new here, subscribe. And share this out with your friends, family, colleagues, all over social media, Twitter, whatever. A few days to Christmas. You gotta remember. I think Brian wants to get in this. I think Brian, maybe RJ if he wants. Okay. It's almost Christmas. This Raw, we're having a very special, it was ready taped, special Christmas theme episode. SmackDown's taped, you know that. The Raw before New Year's there's not going to be a show, but we know the day before December 31st, SmackDown, we know John Cena is going to be teamed up with Kevin Owens to take on Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. Okay. But now, we're going to talk about some of the best face and heel turns. So, I think we should go with heel turns, okay, first. Some of the best. And if you're in the chat, mention some of the heel turns that you liked or you thought are the best. Okay, there's a lot of obvious ones, obviously, and give me some ones that people really talk about, but should talk about more. Okay, I think the biggest one in WWE history or wrestling history is probably, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan turning his back on WCW and the wrestling fans in the wrestling world by aligning himself with the Outsiders, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall at Bash at the Beach in 1996. I think that's really perhaps the biggest heel turn in wrestling history, period. What that heel turn did to the wrestling industry. Hi, Isaac. What that heel turn to the wrestling industry made wrestling mainstream once again, leading towards late 90s where we had WCW versus WCW versus WWE in the Attitude Era versus WCW, where WWE wrestling was always talked about. You got mainstream stars coming in from then, if you know the late 90s, you know about the wrestling world, the wrestling wars between the two. And Hulk Hogan, I would say, was really the first. No, I'm not canceling. No. Was really the first bullet, I could say. In that war when Hogan turned on WCW and formed the NWO, the New World Order, a heel faction, And the NWO was instrumental to the turning point of wrestling. And Hogan's like the biggest star. Like everybody knew who Hogan was. Even if you're not the wrestler, you know who Hulk Hogan was. Okay? But from a wrestling standpoint, that night, Bash to the Beach, when he turned heel, nobody saw it come, and people were like, "Oh my god, it's Hogan, Hogan!" Like Hogan would never do this. Hogan would never do this. He would never turn his back on the fans. Guess what? He turned heel. He did. He turned his back on his fans from the NWO, and the NWO brand rockshot over WCW for like a year or two, right? Hogan, that stable, that faction got bigger and bigger as the months went on. You started seeing more people join the NWO. Giant, Ted DiBiase, Virgil, Six, Buff Bagwell, IRS for a bit, Big Bubba for a bit. You started to see, Macho Man eventually joined, a fake Sting, Kurt Hennig, Brian Adams, Conan. Who else can you see? Who else was there? Rick Rude, Disciple, obviously Eric Bischoff, Scott. I did say Scott Hall. And then you had a classic year-long feud rivalry between Sting and NWO Hogan. Like Sting is there to save WCW from Hogan and NWO. That was that was so big. That changed the wrestling industry, man. Then he started Attitude Era. Like the Attitude Era, he saw some was some things from taken from that. Like the DX took some stuff from Attitude Era, where you have a rebellious faction. Like DX was not really a big group, like at the time, right? Like DX didn't get like to a point where it was overcrowded in terms of faction members. First, it started off with Shawn Michaels, Triple H, in China, and Rick Rude. Rick Rude left, but then obviously what happened to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania with injury, he had a severely back injury that kept on in action after WrestleMania 14. He lost the title to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then the next night, Triple H took the ball and continued on DX, forming his own faction. X Pac, 6, 1, 2, 3 Kid came back from WCW at the time. This is '98, by the way. And and then later the New Age Outlaws. So DX kind of took some things from the NWO, but didn't get to a point where it got to where it was too many members. Too many members. Okay? And Hogan, you would think like Hogan, my God. Like that minute. Go get him, Huckster. Remember that. Oh, you know what? Come. Oh my God. I'm sorry about that. That's not my phone. That's not my cell phone, okay? That's not my phone. I'll be right I'm sorry about that. That was not my phone. I had to. That was not my cell phone. Okay, that's probably the biggest heel turn in wrestling history ever. You could debate me on that, but you won't change my mind. Hulk Hogan turning heel, forming the NWO, was like something. It's like Superman turning heel. It's like Captain America turning, and I know they've done it in the comics obviously in Injustice, stuff like that. They've done it. It's also like it's like that. Okay, that's the equivalent of Hogan turning heel, man. It's like that. I'll be right back. Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. If you're you, yeah, that's what like I said. It's equivalent to Superman turning bad or Captain America turning. And yes, they have turned bad in alliterations, obviously. But if you get to the comparison, if you understand the comparison, okay, this is Hogan, okay, the ultimate white meat babyface who does nothing bad, your hero. All right, and also that was a great babyface turn. I mean, a great no heel turn. So let's continue with the heel stuff. Another great heel turn was, I guess, the birth of the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. You gotta remember, Shawn Michaels was a tag team with Martin Jannetty, known as the Rockers. A tag team, a young tag team, a lot of potential, but a lot of trouble, headaches. They gave people headaches backstage. They were known troublemakers. They did a lot of drugs, drinking. They even admit that they were known as, yeah, pretty much troublemakers. But they were damn talented, very very talented. So about 91, 92, they WWE Vince McMahon saw, you know what? We could make a star out of one of these members of the Walkers, Martin Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. They clearly saw potential in Shawn Michaels as the guy who's gonna break out from the tag team. And leading up, there was tension between the Walkers, right? And then on Bruiser Barber Beefcake's barbershop show, which is a little skit or whatever, segment, skit, whatever they do from time to time back then. Yeah, WWE did a bunch of them. It's Bruiser Barber's barbershop. Roddy Piper had his Piper's Pit. They do it even now a little bit. Miss TV. Chris Jericho had his thing. But they do it. They still do it kind of now, but not as much. On that show, they seem to on his show they seem like they made up, right? And then you see them hold each other's hands up and high like they made up, and all of a sudden Shawn Michaels super kicks Martin Jannetty in the mouth, right in the jaw, obviously, right here. It's like, oh. And in his barbershop, there's a set. There was like a set, like a kind of like a for how you make a house kind of, and there was a window with, I don't know if it's probably not real glass. It's not real glass, obviously. They don't reuse real glass. obviously, but there was like a window with fake glass, wherever they used, right? So Shawn Michaels took Brian Trajani and threw him through the window, right? And that was the birth of HBK, Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, who was a cocky son of a bitch. Cocky son of a bitch. Eh, character wise and backstage wise. He in character and out of character, he was cocky son of a bitch. It's true. That character gave birth to the sexy boy and that theme music. It's like, the girls loved him. The women loved him. That's his character. The women loved him. But I'll say this: he's good, amazing in the ring. He was good. He was good. That was good. And that. And that obviously the click came in. Okay, later on. But that's one of the best heel turns too in WWE. There's a lot of heel turns wrestling, right? Those are two off the top of my head. You got, let's see who else. The double heel, no, the double turn, even though it's a babyface, double turn WrestleMania 13 when Stone Cold and Bret Hart had that Ike submission match. When Bret Hart passed out to the sharpshooter, blood all covering his face. The outcome of that match was, after that match, was pretty much a double turn. Where Bret Hart was a face going into the match, Stone Cold was the heel. Yes, while Stone Cold was heavily popular, he was still a heel for '96 and the first half of '97. But he was immensely popular, shirts and all that. Okay, but going to that match, like I said, Bret Hart was the babyface and Stone Cold was the heel. Coming out of that match, Bret Hart became the heel and Stone Cold became the babyface. And that really took Stone Cold to the next level. He was already there, and that took Stone Cold to the next level to a point where, yeah, we could definitely see a title on this guy, the WWE Championship. Where Bret Hart, became a heel. He was a babyface for a long time. From like 91 to like 97, he was like a babyface. Very respectable. He was very white meat babyface. But 97, he became a heel after the WrestleMania match and formed the Hart Foundation, a faction which is anti-American. Yeah, I know, anti-American, with his younger brother, Owen Hart, rest in peace, Owen Hart. His brother-in-law, Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, rest in peace, him. Jim Neidhart, his also another brother-in-law, rest in peace. I know, sorry. And Brian Pillman, rest in peace. Oh, four of the members. Oh my God, yeah, okay, that's not the point. Four of the members of the Hart Foundation. Oh my God, I know. I didn't realize it. So that was an anti-American faction where there are heels in America. Every American city, there were the bad guys. But if they go to a Canadian city or a foreign country that's not America, they were the good guys. They were the baby faces. But he was mostly a heel, Bret Hart at the time, and he was a good heel. He was a good heel, and I gotta go bathroom. I'm sorry, I really did have to go bathroom. Okay, that was a good double turn. I'm sorry. Ha. Okay, where am I now? Okay, let's go to fast forward 2002. Triple H's heel turn. Yes, he has a bunch of heel turns, obviously. When he turned heel in X Pac at WrestleMania 15, that was a heel turn. But and now it's kind of the rise of Triple H into that next level where he could be in the world title picture, become evolves into the game. But that's not the heel turn I want to talk about. I want to talk about the time where he turned on a returning Shawn Michaels back in 2002 to form DX. But unfortunately, as we are going to form DX, Triple H kicked him and gave him a pedigree. And then, as he turned heel on his old best friend, Shawn Michaels. That was big. That was a big heel turn. Bigger than the one I think in 2015. No, WrestleMania 15. Because Shawn Michaels and Triple H, real life buddies, even their buddies on screen, on TV, in character and out of character. Everybody knew that their friends, click best buddies, right? But seeing them play on TV where Triple H turned on each other, it was like, oh, how can you do that to your best friend? Screw you, damn you, Triple H, damn you, Triple H, damn you to hell. Or like JR would say. And that led to some epic matches. That led to the return of Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. Yeah. We'll get to the faces, okay? And that led to a bunch of matches between Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Triple H, SummerSlam 2002, return match of Shawn Michaels unsanctioned. Shawn Michaels got the win. Unfortunately, Triple H hit him in the back with a sledgehammer, and Shawn Michaels off the shelf for a while. Then he comes back, and he can now all of a sudden after 4 years he's able to wrestle again. His back injuries have turned out to his back injury has healed. He's come back to wrestle again, and he had some epic matches with Triple H. Elimination Chamber match, he won the title there. Then he had like a 3 falls match with Triple H. Just an epic match with Triple H. That rivalry was heated with each other because of all Triple H. Because Triple H was jealous and envious of Shawn Michaels' success. That he was always holding him down, brother DX. But it was great. Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't. This stream. Heel factions, best factions. Yeah, yeah. Wolfpack was a great face faction until they aligned themselves with the black and white. That was terrible. That was bad. That was a great heel turn and story with Shawn Michaels. And you guys are always in the chat, guys. You guys put some of your favorite heel turns. All right, and then we'll talk face turns. So far, I mentioned Hulk Hogan's obviously heel turn. That's always number one for me. You got Shawn Michaels' heel turn when he turned Omar Jannetty when the Rockers broke up. I had this double turn with not Shawn Michaels, with Austin and Bret Hart at WrestleMania 13, and obviously Triple H 2002 when he turned on his best friend Shawn Michaels. Another great heel turn is when Batista turned on Rey Mysterio in 2009. Batista was getting furious with stuff. He was losing until it was getting to him. And he turned on Rey Mysterio, turning him, and he was such a dangerous heel at the time. Unfortunately, he was planning to leave in 2010. Okay, because he didn't. After his stuff with Mysterio, his next feud was basically with Shawn John Cena, and they had like 3 pay-per-view matches, WrestleMania, Extreme Rules, or something like that. And so Cena won all of them, but Batista was done with WWE. He had I think his contract was up, and he decided to go to do more Hollywood stuff, right? That was a great heel turn. He was vicious too, and he came back 2014. He was as a babyface, but they turned him heel because of the love, the fans warring for Daniel Bryan to become WWE champ. This is like when Daniel Bryan was height of his fandom, like not his fandom, but height of his popularity. Like, how popular Daniel Bryan was in 2013, 2014. I remember that era, man. There was, there was, it was crazy, crazy. I remember that. It was, but that wasn't a great heel turn. That was not a great heel turn, honestly, for Batista. That was a forced heel turn by the fans, just for the love of Daniel Bryan. Because it's true, Vince and Triple H did not see Daniel Bryan as the guy, but the fans proved them otherwise, and they had no choice to capitalize on his popularity, right? Okay. I say Trish Stratus at WrestleMania was a great heel turn when she turned on Jericho and lined herself with Christian. It was a whole plan along. It was a great heel turn. Let's see. Lita turning on Kane to align herself with Edge, the rated R superstar. They did all that stuff. The live sex show. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. What else? I mean, Randy Orton has a great heel turns, obviously. Oh, I'll tell you what's a very underrated heel turn. Scott Steiner sold out or No Way Out. One of the pay per views, WCW pay per views in 1998. Scott Scott Steiner. This time, Scott Steiner was there was something odd with Scott Steiner and the rest of the Steiners. Like Scott Steiner was not himself. He dyed his hair blonde. He did not have long hair anymore. He was not himself. Okay. Well, he didn't dye his hair blonde at the time, but he did have short hair, and he used to have long hair. But he was not himself. He was more angry. There's something going on with the Snyders. They were not in the best. They were not in the best terms. They were like they were being dysfunctional. He turned on his brother when Rick. When the Snyders. When they pose, Rick goes under Scott. But in this pay per view, it was against the NWO. Pretty sure it was against the NWO. Scott goes like this, and costs his team the match, and he joins the NWO where he dyes his hair blonde, and Big Papa Pump was bored. And that really, I think, helped his singles career. Like something, it was time for him to have a singles career, and that really helped his career. Good wrestler, he's not bad on the mic. I mean, he was jacked, man. Was fucking jacked. He obviously did boys, but back then, they didn't test you for that stuff. Wrestling. And that really helped his career to take him to the next level. The guy was a champion, dangerous as hell, kind of a lunatic, but wow, that was a great heel turn, and that led to a feud with his brother Rick, you know, and Buff Bagwell got involved. This match there, the feud concluded Halloween Havoc, which Rick won. Actually, it was great. Oh, another great heel turn, and this will be my last, maybe my last one. But tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments on the side. And that heel turns, other heel turns. Macho Man, 1989. That time, 89, when the Mega Powers implode. That's when the whole Hogan, Savage, and Elizabeth storyline was taking place, where Savage, Macho Man was paranoid, feeling paranoid that Hogan was trying to steal Elizabeth away from him. And that one match where Hogan took down Elizabeth to the trainer's room, and Macho Man cost the team a match, came down to the trainer's room where Elizabeth and Hogan were, and then he attacked Hogan, leading to a feud between the two. That was a great feud. Hogan won the title at WrestleMania, but Macho Man stayed as a heel. Became Macho King with Sherry Martel, Sensational Sherry. There's some great WrestleMania matches and stuff. The Warrior, he had a match with the Warrior. He had a match with not Ric Flair, but it might have been Ric Flair. I'm not sure. No, Ric Flair was a year after. But that was great. Now let's get to some face turns. I'm actually really tired, man. Let's get to some face turns. Obviously, Stone Cold Steve Austin's face turn, the double face and heel turn. That was a big one. That was a big face turn. And that's the continuation of the rise of Stone Cold. Huge, mega baby face, obviously. Great turn. That really blossomed the Attitude Era to a point where WWE was turning their luck around in terms of the war of WCW, where WCW was really like destroying them in the ratings for like 83 straight weeks. But the rise of Stone Cold really helped turn the tide, if you ask me, turn the tide in that war, especially in '98. With Mike Tyson coming in, that was the beginning and end of Kevin Nash said. Let's see who else. Who else? Great. Who else had a great babyface turn? DDP. DDP, when he rejected NWO's offer to join the NWO. Remember when when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came out at Nitro? And look, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are good friends with DDP. That's a known fact. But on Nitro, that one Monday Night Nitro, they offered DDP a shirt to join the NWO Black and White. But DDP put on the shirt, shook Scott Hall's hand, they pulled him in for a diamond cutter, and Kevin Nash is like, what? Once, and DDP pulls down the top rope, and Nash falls over the rope, and DDP runs in the crowd. And after DDP turned babyface, because he was a heel before, so he turned babyface. And that was big because he was an instrumental part of having a war with WCW. I mean, he had an epic feud with Macho Man Randy Savage, NWO Macho Man Randy Savage in '97. We credit Savage a lot for getting him to the next level, right? Because DDP was kind of a mid-carder. It was a mid-carder then. Maybe lower carder, mid-carder. But the NWO stuff got him to the upper card, main event level in WCW. What else was a great babyface turn? I mean, Goldberg had no babyface turn. He was just babyface from the start. The Rock in 1999 after Backlash. The Rock was a heel. Remember, he was part of the corporation. And this is a time where, well, he was a heel, but you know what, The Rock. He can make the way he says things in his promos, the way he talks in his promos, gets people cheering. Actually, people loved the way he was saying his promos. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, he lay in the SmackDown again, yes, and all this other creative, charismatic stuff he says. Fortunately, as I was getting close to Backlash at WrestleMania at the time, the fans are starting to cheer more for The Rock, right? For The Rock, and he was a heel at this time, and even The Rock said, "No, don't cheer that. Don't cheer that." He even says that in his promo. But after Backlash, when he lost the title when he lost trying to get back the title from Austin, he blamed the corporation, and the corporation kicked him out, making The Rock become a babyface. And like Austin, he became a megastar in WWE, and obviously a huge megastar in not just wrestling but Hollywood, entertainment. But that was a big babyface turn. And when when Stone Cold Steve Austin had to step away for a while, the injury angle they played at Survivor Series, The Rock took the ball and ran with it. The Rock was the guy that, the fans had to gravitate towards because Stone Cold was away because of the injury for about a year, almost a full year. Da, da, da. Okay, other ones. Other great babyface turns. John Cena when he turned babyface, it's pretty good. Sting was already a babyface, right? Ric Flair, I wouldn't say he's a great babyface, but during the time of the NWO era, the Horsemen were babyfaces, and Ric Flair was kind of a babyface during the NWO. It was like, you know what? Since we have this heel faction, we have to turn the Horsemen babyfaces, and Ric Flair became a babyface. Ric Flair was he was a hate babyface sometimes, but it was more of a natural heel. But at that time, they had to kind of turn him babyface, and he's not a bad babyface either. Kevin Owens is a great babyface. Seth Rollins right now is a great babyface. I think Punk was a great babyface in WWE until they turned him heel. That was bad. Shawn Michaels, great babyface turn after WrestleMania something. After that match of Kevin Nash, Diesel, he turned babyface when Psycho Sid turned on him. Yeah, and he turned babyface. And I think that's about it, man. I'm gonna end it here, guys. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Take care, guys.